When we study animals, we always feel the greatness and power of our Lord. We see how the creation of each animal suits the environment in which it lives, no matter how difficult and impossible it is for humans. This is why we always try to explore the animal world to understand it more and know how their abilities work and how we can benefit from them and imitate them with inventions that make our lives easier. One of the abilities that some animals are believed to possess is the ability to sense natural dangers before they happen, such as earthquakes and volcanoes. While we know these disasters when they will happen or when they happened, although we have begun to develop devices that alert us of approaching disasters, these devices are also not as efficient as required. Animals also sense these disasters before our devices, according to eyewitnesses. The question here is, can animals sense natural disasters?
But first, welcome to this video from one of the Curious Nights.
On the morning of December 26, 2004, in Indonesia, the day was pleasant at the beginning with a suitable climate. The sun was shining and calm prevailed on the coast of the Indian Ocean. At 7:59 minutes, everything turned into its complete opposite as the calm turned into chaos, screams, and terror as a result of an undersea earthquake that resulted from a 9.1 magnitude earthquake that struck the Indian Ocean and caused a series of tsunami waves, the height of which reached 9 meters. After the end of the disaster, official reports reported the death of at least 225,000 people from 12 different countries. What was strange about the matter and what sparked controversy at the time was that some of the eyewitnesses who survived this disaster said that the animals, especially the elephants that Indonesia is famous for, were running in a crazy and somewhat strange way and climbing to high places hours before the disaster occurred. Even the birds left their nests and flew far away, and the dogs were nervous and hid inside the houses. Hence, people started talking about the ability of animals to sense natural disasters, so researchers began to study animal behavior before disasters at present and past. The 2004 tsunami was not the only disaster that caused researchers to make this decision. Animals of all kinds showed unusual behaviors before other disasters occurred, such as tsunamis, volcanic lava, or earthquakes. Then it became clear that this matter was not a modern thing, as it became clear with research that one of the Greek philosophers recorded a similar incident in the year 373 BC, in which he recorded that rats, dogs, and snakes abandoned the city of Bytus in the days that preceded a catastrophic earthquake. The researchers were not satisfied with historical matters only, but they tried more than once to confirm this for themselves. In 2014, a group of Japanese researchers tracked the amount of milk produced by a group of cows on a farm. Since cows produce a fixed amount of milk daily, any change that occurs in the amount of milk results from the cows being exposed to inappropriate conditions and stress. This is what happened about 3 weeks before an earthquake occurred in the region, as the amount of milk that the cows were producing decreased significantly due to the stress. This was not the only follow-up study on this matter, as there were many studies. The most famous of them are the studies of the Max Planck Behavioral Institute, which conducted experiments on cows, sheep, and dogs. In these studies, researchers placed tracking collars that measured the speed of animals on one of the farms in Italy in the Marche region, which is prone to earthquakes. The data that was followed by the researchers showed that the movement of animals changed significantly 20 hours before an earthquake occurred in the area. The closer the earthquake got, the more their behavior changed. The question that has puzzled scientists until now is how they were able to sense the approach of natural disasters before they happened. For scientists to be able to understand this topic, they began to study the changes that accompany natural disasters, and through them, they concluded that animals can sense these disasters through the signs that accompany them. Some scientists have assumed that animals and birds can sense the vibrations that occur in the tectonic plates in the Earth's crust. There are also other strong assumptions, which as that animals can notice the changes and cracks that occur in the Earth's crust as a result of earthquakes. Likewise, the pressure resulting from the movement of tectonic plates breaks the chemical bonds between the minerals present in the air or the water, thus making the air charged with electricity, and the animals can feel this change in their fur. One of the animals that showed the most strange behavior before the earthquakes was the snakes that came out of their hiding places in the bitter cold and then died. At first, scientists thought it was a mass suicide, but this was a reaction to their feeling that a natural disaster was approaching. You may also be surprised that we can use insects to indicate the approaching natural disaster. Studies have shown that ants are highly sensitive to disasters. It can detect the smallest changes in temperature and electromagnetic fields, in addition to feeling changes in the concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, all of which are indicators of the occurrence of a natural disaster. Hence, researchers began using ants to predict earthquakes. In 2020, a research paper was published by a group of German and Russian scientists in which they propose, based on research done before, some of which we mentioned, that it is possible to track a large number of animals, reptiles, and birds in different earthquake zones around the world. They then use computer algorithms to analyze their movement patterns. Therefore, they can predict the occurrence of natural disasters through the changes that occur in the behavior of animals, as if animals are warning devices. Indeed, data on the movement of thousands of animals around the world is currently being collected through a monitoring system on the International Space Station called IGARS.